UBytes, Unity tutorials in 256 seconds or less. In our last video, we covered how to handle the custom events that are part of the new event system in arbitrary UI objects. In this video, we're going to cover how to get those same things working for 3D objects, such as our actor cube and the ground plane on which the actor cube is standing. So let's take a look at those. So first of all, these, like any other game object, can have components attached to them, which means that it's very easy to come in here and add an event trigger to this as well, and for that matter, add a pointer click, and even add our custom click handler onto the actor, and for that matter, onto the floor. We could even click on both to add component type event trigger, which in our case, we've added a second one, I believe. Yes, so for here, we'll actually remove this, but know that you can multi-select and add them to many of them. Now, in order to get things firing on here, you'd think that all you have to go in is to go into here, put the actor in, pull down the function, custom click handler, I was clicked, and do the same thing on the floor. And you'd be mostly right. And we'll get into what exactly isn't right in just a second, but just let me show you. If I do this right now, all of it's wired up correctly, and that's great. If I go into the scene, hit play, and I click, nothing happens. Well, we've still got our ones wired up. Oh, do we? Yes, we've got them stuck to the button, but turns out that I managed to revert the ones that were on the image. Let me just double check that real quick, make sure I haven't forgotten something critical. Yep, they just got reverted. All those got pulled off, so I'll just add that and show you that if you add an event trigger to this and go through the same process, there's no special anything beyond this that you need to do to get that button now firing that. But so why isn't it happening on here? Well, as it turns out, it's actually buried in a bit of the Unity documentation, but what you need to do is you need to have your main camera have a component called a raycaster, and graphics raycaster is automatically going to be on the canvas, and the canvas is automatically going to have its own camera script to be able to draw what it draws. So you don't need to worry about any of the UI elements. They've already got a graphics raycaster. But you need to add a physics or physics 2D, depending on which kind of thing you're using, component to your main camera. Once you do that, then it can actually work as expected. You get the mouse clicks, and you still get your mouse clicks for your UI because it's still got all of its parts. That's it. That's how you get it to work for any arbitrary scene object. You just put in a physics raycaster on your main camera and set up events as normal. One last note before we depart. If you are going to be using this, and you are going to be doing it without having a canvas or an event system present in the scene, you're going to have a bad time. The canvas part, not a big deal, but it is the usual way that you get a default event system into the scene. But you can also use it by just going to UI event system and add it manually. This is great for when you want to have these work, but you don't want to have their UI. Like if you're still using NGUI, but you want to use this as for your input on all of your game objects, this would be a great way to have that happen. That's it. Thanks much.